Story 11. Eyes in the Sky. If you look up at the night sky, there is probably a satellite flying over you. Hello everybody, and warm welcome to M&M English with me, Mohammed. And today is a special day because we have finished another section in Oxford Word Skills Intermediate. And section 3 was all about the world around us. And we talked about geography, science, weather, and many other things. And today we will review as many words from this section in 14 short stories. And the first story is The Secret Hunter. Animals that live in the wild follow basic rules to survive. For example, tigers' tribes help them hide in the tall grass when they hunt. Another thing is their size can vary enormously. They can grow up to 3 meters long. And because they face many dangers and fights in the forest, the average lifespan of a wild tiger is only about 15 years. During these 15 years, they learn to wait patiently to reach a target without making a sound. However, they rarely attack someone unless they feel threatened or are extremely hungry. Story 2. The 10th Guest. Tom woke up in the middle of the night and swatted a mosquito that was biting his arm. To see if there were more insects, he turned on his torch and noticed an unusual creature on the tent wall. At first, he worried it might be poisonous. However, he soon understood it was just a harmless insect. It was simply flying in circles, trying to reach a target, the small lamp on the table. Feeling happy that it wasn't a dangerous thing, Tom smiled, switched off the light, and went back to sleep. Story 3. The School Campaign. Anna noticed that the local beach was full of plastic, so she decided to launch a campaign about pollution at her school. "We must take this problem seriously," she told her classmates. She wanted to convince them to join a clean-up campaign, explaining that the plastic waste kills creatures in the sea. Her speech was inspiring, and as a result, many students decided to sign up to clean the coast next week. Story 4. Clean Power. Air pollution is a huge problem everywhere. In a developing country, factories often burn cheap coal. But a developed country produces much more waste too. To solve this, governments are looking for a source of clean power. They want to use wind and solar power instead of coal. By investing in renewable energy, we can reduce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This change is necessary if we want cleaner air in the future. Story 5. Daily Habits. Every individual can have an impact on the planet. For example, I always switch off the lights whenever I leave a room to save electricity. I also never throw away glass bottles. Because our town recently opened a new recycling center to protect nature, I try to recycle them, whatever their shape or color is. These small daily habits help reduce waste and keep our community clean. Story 6. The Warming Planet. The gradual increase in temperature is a global problem. This gradual change is harmful to plants and animals. For instance, in the northern and southern poles, the ice started to melt. If the ice disappears, it'll damage the environment forever. Therefore, we must act now to protect our planet. Story 7. Strange weather. The weather can really have an effect on our holiday plans. Spring has become very unpredictable, for example. Weather scientists try to predict that the summer will be cool, but suddenly a heat wave arrives. When this happens, we usually see an unpredictable rise in temperature in the morning, followed by another difficult-to-predict fall in temperature the evening. Because of these sudden changes, it is hard to pack the right clothes for a holiday. And Story 8, a long walk in the storm. Last weekend, my friends and I decided to go hiking, which means go for a long walk in the mountains. We started our walk in thick fog, but soon horrible weather arrived. It began with a light shower, but quickly turned into a heavy shower. Then a loud clap of thunder shook the sky. It was a dreadful experience. But, fortunately, we found a small cabin in the woods where we could stay dry until the rain stopped. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please support the channel by liking, commenting, and sharing. Now, Story 9. The Dry Year. Last year, we had a mild winter with very low rainfall. Because the earth was so dry, farmers worried about crops failure. If the plants died, their farm animals might starve to death. In the autumn, a sudden storm finally hit the town, bringing heavy rain and strong winds. Unfortunately, the extreme weather was too violent and only damaged the crops. Story 10. Forces of nature. Natural disasters are terrible events that can destroy whole towns. When a fire occurs, it can burn dry forests in minutes. In hot parts of the world, these fires happen regularly during the summer. Firefighters must watch carefully for any sign of smoke on the horizon. If they see it, they must act quickly before it spreads more into the woods. Story 11. Eyes in the sky. If you look up at the night sky, there is probably a satellite flying over you. In other words, it is a machine that circles the Earth. It takes approximately 90 minutes up to 28 days to complete one full trip around our planet. Some of these satellites have special cameras that study the Earth, the Sun, and climate change. It is incredible how much information they send back to us from space. Story 12. Exploring Mars. Scientists send spacecrafts to explore faraway planets like Mars. They hope to discover something new about the universe. To do this, robots carry out experiments on the red rocks. So far, they have collected samples and sent back data or information. After doing an analysis of the samples, they found ice, but no liquid water. And Story 13 is the new material. A team of scientists recently created a new type of metal for building cars. The material is completely solid and very strong. Previously, people thought this kind of material was too weak to use, but the test results were a big surprise. Now, a car company wants to invent a new type of car using it. The main feature of the car will be its safety. Because the metal is so easy to produce, it'll save the company a great deal of money. And the last story is a day in Lisbon. During our trip to Portugal, we drove to see the port of Lisbon. Right next to the busy harbour, we found a sandy beach where we decided to spend the afternoon. In the morning, however, the sea is rough with high waves. Lifeguards told people to be careful and even built a wall to protect swimmers from the dangerous water. But later in the afternoon, the wind stopped and it became a calm sea, perfect for swimming. That's about it, and let's review this suggestion one more time. Like, subscribe, and share for more quality videos. Brought to you by M&M English with me, Mohammed, and see you in my next video.